Moderna is out with its latest earnings, and the stock is getting some play on the Yahoo Finance platform after the company topped estimates in its latest quarter. Revenue getting a boost primarily due to increased product sales from Moderna's COVID-19 vaccine. Yahoo Finance's senior healthcare reporter Anjalee Khemlani joins us now. And Anjalee, I understand you caught up with Moderna CEO Stéphane Bancel.
That's correct. And to your point about the increased sales, I mean, the COVID vaccines continue to be a really strong product for the company, but they are looking at the future and what that means, whether it's just the boosters for the COVID vaccines or even beyond that to flu and the global market. Now, we do know that boosters are, of course, a big topic here in the U.S., especially looking at that fall booster campaign that the Biden administration is targeting. The FDA did ask the company for an updated booster shot, variant specific, and including two strains, specifically the original strain and the BA4, BA5 strain. And that is set to hit the markets, according to the Biden administration, by September. But we did hear an earlier estimate that the company wouldn't be able to meet the deadline until October. So when I asked CEO Stéphane Bancel about that, here's what he had to say.
We're working very closely with the U.S. government. We're working really hard to get these to early fall. And we're already making the BA.4/5 vaccine as we speak in our Massachusetts plant. And so we'll give more updates as we get closer to it, but we know how important it is, and we know that every day matters.
So as you can hear, really a strain for the company right now. And they're not the only one. It seemed like they were ready to roll out that Omicron-specific vaccine earlier, which they're being asked to do in Europe. Europe has asked for an entirely different booster shot. So they're sort of doing parallel tracks right now. Meanwhile, we know, of course, looking to the global market, they've seen a reduction in demand there, accounting for, doses sitting on the shelves getting expired. They took a $500 million hit there. There's some unused manufacturing capacity as well. But all in all, they seem to be really bullish about the fourth quarter and increased sales and advanced purchase agreements there. Meanwhile, also looking at the potential for a commercial market, which is outside of governments and public health authorities purchasing those doses for the coming year.
It seems like there's a lot of focus as well here on the share repurchase program that they also announced here, a new $3 billion share repurchase plan. And so going forward from here, it really does beg this question of, for the confidence that they're putting out there into the street, where are some of the key parts of the business where they're going to be banking a lot of that growth on going forward too?
Well, and also remember, this is not the first quarter that they've announced a repurchase, right? So they are sitting on a good chunk of cash, and they're looking at beyond the COVID vaccine. They're looking at flu, a combination of flu and COVID, and they are looking at some other diseases as well. They have started to look at monkeypox as well. So they're looking at how to really leverage this fast platform that they've been bragging about, right? This mRNA platform into responding to new and upcoming viruses, as well as markets that they know. We've also heard them talk about opening a plant in Africa, for example, right, in Kenya, and targeting that LMIC market that has largely been ignored for some time. But in my discussion with the CEO today, he did mention it and talking about how this is really a long-term play, and they really see some longer-term growth when it comes to their potential pipeline, which has, 40-some-odd products in it right now.
Yeah, I mean, that was always the promise, right, of this platform. Once you figure out the platform works, you can apply it to all those different things you mentioned. But what's the timeline for something like that? I mean, if the idea is that they can come up with vaccines quickly, and they're looking at monkeypox, shouldn't it be
going right out? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm so glad you asked that, because I did ask this question. And they're basically waiting for conversations with the FDA to come through. Right now, they're in discussion, trying to figure out whether or not there is a market for monkeypox. They still have confidence in their ability to scale and to be able to respond to it, but they're still sitting and waiting in preclinical stage, not moving forward, because they still have to get essentially a guarantee that this product is going to be needed if they're going to be investing in it, is the bottom line. So that, is sort of where we're sort of waiting and watching, and they'll have an update as soon as they know.
I mean, I'm sorry for my eyes being wide open, because it's 2 or 3 states now have entered into a state of emergency for monkeypox.
Well, and they've said the reason why is there's already a vaccine. We know that vaccine is facing problems, shortages galore, manufacturing issues, and the idea that this is not the same kind of pandemic that COVID was is playing a huge role in the sentiment on whether or not to move ahead.
Really good to know. Great insight as always. Yahoo Finance's own Anjalee Khemlani.